Hi, so this is what I made for this week's texture assignment. Before beginning, I kind of planned out the composition a little bit in my brain. I decided that it would be a fun idea to divide the paper into 3 sections using different colors. And I chose a triadic color scheme for this one on a CMYK color wheel. You have yellow, blue, and pink. The original idea was that I might try to keep all of them to one texture, like this would be visual, invented, and this would be actual, but I thought it was a little more cohesive when I was completing it to mix it just a little bit. So for visual texture, I have a lot of examples in here. Visual texture is an illusion created by an artist of a real texture, but it's recreated on a 2-dimensional plane. So that would be like my tree bark here has the texture of tree bark that you would find in nature. All of this, I tried to go with like a nature theme, things that you would find outside and textures you would find outside. So I've got my binturong, which represents fur, and if you look pretty closely, you've also got sharpness on the claws of the binturong, and then little flowers behind it that I made sure I found an image that included thorns in it so that I could get the sharp texture in the roses as well. And then this cloud is also visual texture. It's not literally fluffy, but you get the illusion that it is fluffy by using the bouncy shapes. And then finally some water droplets. And you can imagine the texture that they would be is wet. I also have invented texture in here. Invented texture is a texture that is made up by the artist. It usually resembles a pattern or design. So the main one I have for that is these cutouts of mountains. They're made with patterns, and they're not real textures that exist, like this bouncy one with lines in it, or this crisscross one, but you get the impression still that they are rocky and like sloped the way that rocks usually are. Just a lot of crevices in them. At least that's the impression I get from it. And then I also have this wind blowing in the background. And this one kind of dips into symbol territory because it's a symbol for wind. But I considered it invented texture as well because it doesn't literally represent the wind. It doesn't feel like the wind. And it doesn't look like the wind because you can't see it. But you still get the feeling when you see it that it should be cold, like wind is blowing on you. So I considered that a texture as well. And then finally, I also incorporated actual texture into this design. The first one I used was this feather here. I tried to get my actual texture to match the color bricks I made. So this is like a brown feather that I picked up a while ago that I glued onto this page using our gel medium, and you can feel the strands of the feather on there. And then I also have this pressed flower that I got from the ground, and you can feel the bumpiness of the flower raised up from the paper and all of the leaves on it as well. So that's the collage that I made. Thank you for watching.